Hey there, I'm Mifa. This is Even Curiouser, and I'm so glad you're here. This is a little corner of the internet where we look at beauty in a slightly different way. We use beauty and makeup to express ourselves and shape the way we present ourselves to the world. We use fashion and style as armor because every day can be a battle. And it's a place where we lovingly work with our bodies and our appearance. It's a place where we lovingly work with our bodies and our physical features. We don't hate on them. We're not mean about them at all. If you're here to be mean or overly negative, this is probably not a place for you. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I really am excited you're here. This is only the second video sort of on my channel. I had experimented a few years back, so some of you may have subscribed way back when, but I'm so excited to be getting back into this. This video is the first in a series that I have dubbed the Friday Five. This is an idea I've been kicking around for as long as I've been kicking around the idea of a YouTube channel. Every week is going to be a little bit different. Sometimes they'll be rankings, sometimes they will be physical products, sometimes they will, I don't know what they'll be. I have over 150 different ideas for these lists written down, and I'm sure I will continue to come up with more. But I thought that starting with this particular topic, 5 gluten-free brands you can purchase at Sephora or Ulta, was a really good place to start. So if you followed me when I was on social media previously, you might know that I come from the gluten-free and allergen community because I myself have food allergies, and it greatly impacts which brands and what makeup I can and can't use. When I was first diagnosed with food allergies back in 2005, no one was talking about this stuff if you had to Google every ingredient of every product you wanted to use. And it took a lot of effort to find products that were safe to use. So this is a video and content that I wish was around for my former self, because some of these brands have actually been around since then, and I had no idea. All of the brands on this list are ones that I have tried and used for years at this point, and I feel really comfortable recommending them to you. It's also important that you know that if I'm talking about a gluten-free product or an allergen, a product that has none of my allergens in it, it is imperative that it works as well as any other makeup on the market. I don't think we should be compromising on quality or performance just because we can't use a couple of ingredients, especially when there are so many viable alternatives. You may also be wondering why there's some notable brands not listed here, and that's likely because if you're thinking of the brands I'm thinking of, it's because you can't buy them at Ulta or Sephora. This list I wanted to keep really focused to brands that are easy to find, easy to access, ones that you can actually go into a store and see, and maybe sometime in the future actually touch before you buy, rather than being a brand where you have to be comfortable taking on the risk of ordering online. Before I go any further, I have to give you this disclaimer. 1, I am not a doctor and this is not medical advice. When it comes to your allergies or celiac disease, it's really important that you talk to your healthcare providers, your doctors, your dietitians, anyone else who is on your medical or care team. They can give you better personal advice than I can. None of the brands on this list are certified gluten-free either. It's something I toyed with looking into, but none of the brands carried at Sephora and Ulta that are gluten-free and work really well are currently certified gluten-free. For me, this is an acceptable level of risk, but it's not an acceptable level of risk for everyone. So bear in mind that that's sort of where my comfort zone is. But every brand on this list does make strong claims about being gluten-free. This list is accurate as of the day this video is posted. However, brands change their formulas, they release new products, and things change. There's actually 2 brands on this list where that is very true in their past. And it's something we see all the time. Brands reformulate. It's just reality. So it is crucially important that even if you've bought a product before, every time you get it, that you patch test it in case the formula has changed or there's cross-contamination. Again, not a doctor, not medical advice, just a friend who has been in your shoes. All right, let's get to the list. First on the list is a brand that has been around since 2000. So they were around when I was first diagnosed with allergies, and I had no idea that they existed. And that's so disappointing to me because I would have loved to have not have had to try so hard to find foundations that didn't bother my skin. So the first brand is CoverFX, and their whole brand ethos is around high performance, clean ingredients. I'll save my rant for about clean beauty for another day, but essentially they wanted to make sure that none of their products had anything harmful, no harmful chemicals. CoverFX was founded by former cosmetic formulators from MAC, which means they have a ton of experience making really high-end, performance-driven cosmetics. And I'm using the word harmful because chemicals aren't inherently bad. It's harmful chemicals that you should want to avoid. This is a brand that is complexion product focused. So they have a couple of different foundation formulas and all are available in an incredibly wide shade range. So in almost all of their formulas, I'm not even the palest shade or the second palest shade. There's actually 2 shades too pale for me and one at my level of depth that's the wrong undertone in their brand, which is mind-boggling when very often I have to work to make the lightest shade work. This is a brand that it doesn't matter if you are the ghostliest ghost or have the deepest, darkest skin tone, they do have complexion products that will work for you. Gluten-wise, all of their products are gluten-free. Other allergens that they avoid are any animal byproducts, so all their products are vegan. And something that I think is really important, especially in the clean space, is none of their powder products have corn in them. When brands avoid talc or wheat, sometimes they use cornstarch, and that is not in any of these products. So if that's an allergy you have, you're good to go here. I have bought multiple foundations from them. So their most popular one at the moment is their Power Play foundation. This is a matte full coverage foundation in 40 shades. It wears beautifully and you can wear it as a full coverage foundation or you can sheer it out and wear it more as a medium coverage, everyday type foundation. They also make a couple of primers that are part of my everyday staples, including their Water Cloud Primer, which is really good for dry skin, winter skin. It also protects against blue light and pollution, or their Gripping Primer that makes your skin just a little bit sticky and acts as super glue for your foundation. So the second brand on our list today is Nudestix. This is a brand that if you were to follow that family tree from MAC to CoverFX, you would make it to Nudestix. So one of the people that founded CoverFX left and founded a new brand with her daughters called Nudestix. This is a brand that is all about effortless beauty on the go. They're really into really light coverage makeup and really playing up the skin you have and the face you have, which is something that I really like about the brand. It's a brand that, because of their glam on the go sort of core brand principle, almost all their products require no or minimum tools to use, which makes them really great for anyone who wants more of a low maintenance routine. They're great for traveling if we ever live in a world where traveling is easy to do again. But they also work really well with other makeup if you're more of a full-on face of makeup kind of person. They did have a little bit of a brand controversy last year when they released a product that contained propolis extract At the time, they doubled down and were like, no, 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 it's vegan. It's a combination of plant extracts. They got called out. It turned out that a few other products had bee ingredients like beeswax, yet they had been claiming to be a vegan brand. And they ended up scrubbing the vegan claims from their brand. Vegan claims only popped up anymore product by product. Now, they've never had any shadiness around the gluten in their products. They've never had gluten-containing ingredients, and it appears they've learned and grown as a brand, which is really important. But this is why it's really important to not take a brand at their marketing at all. And really, you have to look at every product every time you buy it, unfortunately. And their marketing claims should really only be used as a guide. Their gluten-free status is that they have remained committed to manufacturing gluten-free products. Also, they are a cruelty-free brand, but they no longer have brand-wide vegan claims. They also don't make any other claims around allergens in their products. Shockingly, I'm going to tell you the best product from their brand are their Nudies Stix. These are cream blushes, bronzers, and highlights in stick format. They come in a matte formulation, a dewy formulation. There is also a glow formulation, and then there are highlights and bronzers and blushes. I have too many, but I love them. They also have really easy to use eye pencils. They're more crayons for eyeshadow. Just so much goodness. The third brand I want to talk about is the newest brand that I have tried, and this is a brand called Kosas. They are, again, another quote unquote clean beauty brand, but their philosophy is a little bit different than either of the first two. Their big thing is skin loving ingredients, makeup that doubles as skincare, being really effortless, and they have a really strong belief that beauty isn't just physical. And I know that can seem like pandering, especially from a brand that is selling bronzer and concealer and lipstick, but with this brand, it's something that seems to be really true to them. They show a lot of natural skin on their site, and all of their products are positioned as enhancing what you have rather than covering up or hiding. They've been around for about 5 years now, and they've been continuing to launch some really interesting new products. And all of them fall in that sort of easy to wear, everyday staples kind of makeup. Their brand is completely gluten-free. It's one of the things on their ingredients we avoid list. Their products are mostly vegan, but not all vegan. So if you have allergies to anything like beeswax, royal jelly, propolis, marine collagen, those are all things, just double check all of the ingredients lists before you buy. But what is really great about this brand, if you have food allergies, there is no egg, nut, or soy, which is so awesome. Nut oils are in a lot of makeup, and they tend to show up even more commonly in brands that fall under the clean umbrella, which are also where a lot of brands that claim to be gluten-free fall. They have some really interesting and different products from other brands on the market. They have a couple of pretty standard things like their skin tint. Everyone who can wear it loves it. It's a really sheer coverage foundation. Unfortunately, it doesn't go light enough for me. But what I do love is their concealer. They say it's like an eye cream that hides under eye circles, and it is beautiful. It moves with your skin. They expanded the shade range earlier this year, so now there's a shade that's light enough for me. I really, really love the concealer. Well, the second thing that's really awesome from them is their Weightless lip color. This is a lipstick that goes on feeling nice and creamy, and it does dry down, but it doesn't get dry. It goes from feeling a little bit slippy to just feeling like nothing on your lips. So you don't get that drying feeling of a matte lipstick, and you almost have to look in a mirror to see if it's still there. The fourth brand on the list is Tarte. And this is, if you shop at Sephora and Ulta, this is probably a brand you're familiar with. You may have even been a little surprised a couple of years ago when the shelf labels shifted from saying gluten-free and vegan to just being vegan and cruelty-free. They've been around for, I think, around 20 years. I couldn't find a founding date on their website, But this is a brand that makes really solid, straightforward makeup. Gluten-wise, all of their products are made from ingredients that are not derived from gluten-containing grains. Additionally, they are a vegan brand, so if you are allergic to any animal byproducts, this brand should be safe for you. Also, this is a soy-free brand, so if soy is an ingredient that you need to avoid due to an allergy, Tarte is a brand that should also work for you. The one thing that kind of irks me a little bit is they have a hypoallergenic claim. This is something that was really common maybe 15, 20 years ago, and you'll see it on a lot of brands at the drugstore, but hypoallergenic isn't a thing. We can make products that don't have common allergens in them, but people can be allergic to anything, and there is no way to guarantee that no one is going to have an allergic reaction to your product. So even though it says hypoallergenic, it doesn't mean that you might not be allergic to something in it. Read the labels, check the ingredients. I'll get off my soapbox now. They have so many different products. It's hard to pick just a few. They're really, really well known for their blushes. Their Amazonian clay blushes and bronzers are beautiful. And they're some of the few powder cheek products that don't disappear over the course of the day. Their powder products really do have a really good lasting power. I really love their chrome paints. They're sort of a loosely pressed powder, and they're glittery and sparkly, and I just love them. Who doesn't love some glitter to play with? They also make a really popular mascara. Their Lights Camera Lashes mascara is a really solid everyday mascara that doesn't dry out too fast. The last brand on this list is the one that I've been buying the longest. They are one that I've had a love-hate relationship with in the past, but we're back to being in a very loving relationship, and that's Bite Beauty. Their big thing is superfoods in the makeup, which is an interesting take on clean beauty, right? But it's very true to where they started. They were founded in Toronto in 2010. They were eventually bought by Sephora's brand incubator, Kendo, and that's who still owns them. So they're now part of a big beauty conglomerate. And that's actually where some of their problems happened. They were actually a certified gluten-free brand. When I first bought products from them, they were a B Corp. But once they were acquired by Kendo, they let that certification go. And then, as time evolved, they actually started including gluten in some of their products. And even worse, it wasn't sort of formula by formula. It was as bad as going color by color to figure out which ones had gluten and which ones didn't. In 2019, they discontinued all of their products, and in early 2020, they relaunched. They recommitted to being gluten-free and vegan, and they're recommitted to the Clean at Sephora promise. They released a foundation range, some pressed powders at the time, and then this year they've added on to their range with a new mascara. If you are gluten-free though, you may not want to buy their pressed powders. Technically, they don't contain a gluten-containing ingredient, but they do have oat flour. So if cross-contamination of oats is a concern for you, then this is something that I would say might cause you to skip this one product. They make some products that I really like and some that I don't. I really, really, really love their lip crayons and that new mascara that just came out. Chef's Kiss, top of the line, A++, 2 thumbs up. The foundation, some days it looks absolutely beautiful on my skin, and then some days it looks like this. So the foundation for me is mixed, but they have so many other great products, and there's enough other brands with gluten-free foundations that for me, I will usually choose something else. But Bite also has literally one of my favorite things in makeup right now, and that, while it's not available at Sephora or Ulta, is their lip labs. These are freestanding stores. They have a handful across North America, but even if you don't live near one, is that you can do this virtually. They will make you any shade lipstick you want, and they will tweak and perfect the formula with you before they then make you a lipstick, engrave the name on the top, and send it on its way. It's a little pricey, and I totally get it. And again, if you don't live near one, it's virtual, so it's not quite as cool as doing it in the store. But it's one of my favorite things about this brand. I love their lipsticks and lip glosses that you can buy in store, but it's just a little that extra bit special when it's a lipstick made just for you. All right, guys, that was a lot. These are some really great brands that I've been using for quite a while now. And so if you have any questions about any of the sort of hero products that I mentioned, or maybe are wondering why I didn't mention other products that might be popular from the brands, feel free to ask down below. I'm happy to answer. Also, let me know if you have any other brands, gluten-free brands that you think I should try. So I am totally down always to try more makeup. And let me know what you thought of the format of this Friday 5 type video. Really interested to hear your thoughts, and I cannot wait to be here again next week with more videos. It's kind of cool being here on the internet, and I'm so glad that you are there watching. If you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like it, either way, I want to know, and hit that subscribe button. Help me get to 100 followers so that I can finally have my own channel URL rather than the random string of letters and numbers that it is currently. I'm really grateful that you took some time to spend part of your day with me today. I hope to see you guys around soon. They recommitted to being gluten-free and vegan. Cecilia, you can't be here right now. I will sit with you in a minute.